Everyone knows the UAE of today. The towers, the airports, the money. But strip all of that away. What's underneath? Underneath is 125,000 years of human history. Civilizations that traded with Mesopotamia. Tombs older than the pyramids. A pearl found in the dirt of a Neolithic settlement that rewrote what we know about human life in the Gulf. This is the story of the land before the nation, before the oil, before anyone had drawn a border on a map. In 2003, archaeologists working near Jebel Hafeet in Sharjah found something no one expected. They discovered tools, stone tools, Paleolithic stone tools to be specific, dated to approximately 125,000 years ago. And the date matters. It means humans were living in what is now the UAE, before the last ice age, before the Arabian Peninsula dried out into the desert we know today. This land was greener, wetter, and crossable from Africa. The tools at Jebel Hafeet are some of the earliest evidence of human migration out of Africa into Asia. The people who left those tools had no name we know, no language we can read, but it is undeniable that they were here, and they kept coming back. Fast forward to around 5600 BC, the Arabian Gulf Coast, an island called Marawah, just off the coast of what is now Abu Dhabi. Archaeologists excavating a Neolithic settlement here in 2017 found two objects that tell an extraordinary story. The first, a ceramic vase, rounded body, narrow neck, decorated with geometric chevron patterns in dark paint on pale clay. It dates to approximately 5500 BC, making it one of the oldest pieces of pottery ever found in the UAE. Its design connects directly to pottery traditions found in Mesopotamia and the ancient Indus Valley. These people were not isolated. They were plugged into a trading network that stretched thousands of miles. The second object found at Marawah was smaller, much smaller. A pearl, natural, slightly flattened, unassuming to look at. But this pearl is approximately 8,000 years old. One of the oldest known pearls in existence anywhere on Earth. It was found on the floor of a dwelling, not in a tomb, not in a merchant's chest, on the floor of someone's home, which means the people of Marawah were collecting pearls from the Gulf, for decoration, for trade, and maybe even for beauty. And they were doing it 8 millennia before the pearl industry that would one day define this entire region. Now move the clock forward to 3200 BC, the foothills of Jebel Hafeet, the great mountain that rises above what is now Al Ain. Here, scattered across the rocky slopes, sit approximately 500 tombs, dome-shaped, built from unworked local stone, each one a small beehive of rock stacked carefully by human hands. This is the Hafeet period, named after this mountain, and it marks the beginning of the Bronze Age in the UAE. Danish archaeologists first excavated these tombs in 1959 and found ceramic vessels and copper artifacts inside. The pottery matched styles from the Sumerian Jemdet Nasr period in Mesopotamia, what is now known as modern Iraq. It dates back to 3200 BC. 500 tombs, each one representing a life lived here, a community that quarried stone and carried it up these slopes to honor their dead. The scale of this cemetery alone tells you this was not a small scattered population. This was a society, organized, persistent, and connected to the wider ancient world through trade routes that crossed the Gulf. By 2500 BC, the Bronze Age had reached full maturity in the UAE. A new culture emerged, named Al Nar, after the island of Abu Dhabi's coast where it was first identified. This was the apex of Bronze Age civilization in the Gulf. The Al Nar people built circular stone tombs, massive, multi-chambered, engineered to hold the remains of hundreds of people. More than 200 of these graveyards have been identified across the UAE. They built stone houses. They made pottery using 7 distinct techniques, some unique to this region. They farmed, Ruins at Al Ain show agricultural settlements growing wheat and corn, and they traded relentlessly. Pottery imported from Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley has been found at Al Nar sites. Copper objects smelted here from local ore have been found in excavations across the Gulf and as far as the ancient cities of Oman. This was not a backwater civilization sitting at the edge of the ancient world. It was a node in a network, a critical supply and transit point connecting the great civilizations of Mesopotamia, Persia, and the Indus to each other across the Arabian Sea. The Bronze Age gave way to the Iron Age around 1300 BC. In this period, the archaeological record of the UAE gets even more remarkable. At a site called Saruq Al Hadid in the Dubai desert, buried under the sand, discovered only in 2002, archaeologists found over 12,000 artifacts, iron tools, bronze vessels, but most strikingly, gold jewelry, a necklace of gold beads, each one perfectly formed, strung together with precision, dated to the Iron Age, found in the sand of what is now one of the world's most expensive real estate markets. The people who made that necklace lived in the desert, worked metal, traded across the peninsula, and buried their finest objects in the earth, where they sat undisturbed for 3,000 years until a road construction team in the 21st century turned up the first clue. After the Iron Age, the region did not sit still. Persian empires claimed influence over the Gulf. Alexander's generals pushed through. The Sasanians held the coast for centuries. Then, in the 7th century AD, Islam arrived, and it reshaped everything. In the city of Al Ain, archaeologists have identified a mosque whose foundations date back to over 1,000 years, placing its construction during the Abbasid Caliphate, one of the great Islamic empires that stretched from Spain to Central Asia. A simple stone structure, no minarets, no ornamentation beyond what prayer requires, but its age makes it one of the earliest physical traces of Islamic life in the Emirates, a building that connects the ancient world of Bronze Age tombs and Neolithic settlements to the cultural and religious identity that defines the UAE today. 125,000 years of human presence. Neolithic pearl divers, Bronze Age traders shipping copper to Mesopotamia, Iron Age goldsmiths burying their finest work in the desert, an Islamic prayer house standing for 1,000 years in Al Ain. None of these people knew they were building the foundation of a country that would one day be called the United Arab Emirates. They were just living, surviving, trading, building, burying their dead, and leaving behind the evidence of lives fully lived. In the next episode, we meet the people who came to define this land in the centuries before the modern nation was born, the Bedouin, the desert tribes who turned scarcity into culture and made hospitality a law.